This
I'm okay.
is Crash Bandicoot,
He is a bandicoot.
and he has gone mobile.
More like Crash on the Run, am I right, fellas?
Actually,
Okay,
you joke
it's
about that, Icky. I've been hearing surprisingly good things about this game.
Okay, so let's talk about what we got here. Let's go. So, Crash Bandicoot has now been turned into an infinite runner of sorts. There are infinite runner stages, but it's more so like a boss, like action runner stage. But okay, so let's get on to the brass tacks of what we know about this game. So, it's being made by King, who up to this point made probably one of the biggest, Okay, we'll just jump right into
the Candy Crush.
They're most well known for having made the Candy Crush series and any other saga like series. Like they've made other ones besides Candy Crush, but yeah, that's one of the people most know them for, and they were the ones who probably some would say perfected the whole like microtransaction in-app purchase thing to like make games almost like addictive or like really appeal to people who think, oh, it's 99 cents, it's not too bad, even though I paid it 50 times this week alone.
Wow.
So they were told. So we were first hearing that that Activision and other people were making them, the people to create ourselves a Crash Bandicoot mobile game, and I will admit, yes, there is still some reason to be a little concerned, or at least to keep an eye on this. But I will say, for all the resources that King has, I think they added a darn good amount of polish into making this game not feel like a lazy cash grab.
I think a lot of it has to do with I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that like they understand that Crash, at least in the realm of video games, is kind of a big deal. So they're like, okay, we should probably be a little on our A game for this guy.
And I will say, James, what happened there was I was too busy reading like Coco's things. So I was like, oh, I should paste this out in case you wanted to read what she was saying. Oh, this is on a timer. And it did it for me.
And there's the in-game currency, I assume.
Among others.
Well, I wouldn't say that's not a currency you can buy. I don't know. It's more like more like an achievement progression item. So,
so it's a power
what we've seen kind of like that, yeah. So what we've seen so far is that's the general gist of most quote-unquote action battle stages is, a little bit of a runner stage. Oh, geez, data download. Fine, we'll do this because it's just a cutscene.
Dr. Cortex is stealing power gems to activate portals. So his mutagen henchmen can conquer all the dimensions. Coco discovered Dr. Cortex's plan.
Yeah.
And is creating portal weapons.
So that we can suck them back into their dimensions.
So Crash can bash the henchmen back to their own dimension and save the multiverse.
But he's a good Dingo Dial, isn't he?
No, this technically...
not in this universe.
Like, as far as canon goes, this apparently takes place in, like, the original timeline, like, after the events of Mind Over Mune, which is why you see things like the Scorporilla from the Titans games.
Oh, that's why. So why that looks so familiar.
I mean, deep down, it doesn't really matter, considering this game is playing around with the idea of a multiverse, so this could very well be its own, centrified version of Crash's main universe.
And I'm fine with this. Bosses that we know of at the moment include Scorporilla, Embryo, Dingodile, Fake Crash, apparently.
What?
And, yeah, apparently he's a villain or something that we can face off against. And,
I do
Nina.
know... Yeah, I do know they announced some other ones, like Tiny's gonna come eventually, and they're also gonna do, like, a Season Pass-like thing where Oxide is the main villain.
Yep, it's gonna be like little story seasons. So the general premise of what we're trying to do is, and where the quote-unquote gameplay loop is gonna kick in, is we need to build, we need to properly arm ourselves before going up against any of Cortex's goons, which means you have to build portal weapons, which unfortunately require various crafting mechanics. And oh geez, the buzzsaw turtles.
Oh no!
Don't worry, one good spin will take him out.
So, okay, so I guess different topic. How the game controls it's Temple Run. If you've ever played Temple Run, it's run, swipe left and right to swap between 3 lanes, swipe up to jump, swipe down to slide, tap to do an action. Which in Crash's case, 9 times out of 10, his instincts kick in to tell him to spin into whatever problems he may face. Mother-in-laws, lawyers, whatever.
Mother-in-laws, lawyers.
I'm surprised the game introduces nitro boxes before TNT crates.
Because I don't know how. I don't think they're ever gonna make us. I don't think there's any way we could like interact with TNT crates.
There are certain instances where TNT crates are put into the picture, but I think that's mostly something they add into this game's survival runs, which are, well, they're going to be something we're not going to be showing off this look at, because it's sort of something you learn about later, where you can you can join these random teams and it's kind of like multiplayer races of a sort.
Can I interrupt real
I'll have to try it out.
Can I interrupt real quick and say that it's kind of sad that the mobile runner game is having a lot more use of Aku Aku than the latest console game?
Sad, but yes. Because, I mean, I kind of like the idea that when he's, totally invincible, you get this rainbowy aura around Crash.
Like, that looks like his feathers and stuff, yeah. So, what I'm showing off here is my first, 15 or so minutes of my first experiences with the game, because I want to show off, any tutorials, any demos we can find. And I don't know what those blue and trophies things do yet. I still need to, okay, no, sorry, blues experience points, trophies, I do not know what they are used for yet. I'm still working on
trophies I'm aware are for the quote-unquote survival runs, which are, they kind of go on a bit of a, I don't know, like a weekly or a monthly basis. But if you do earn a certain amount, earn enough trophies, you can earn some exclusive rewards.
Okay, so what we're seeing here is we need to create the serum needed. I don't want to... Oh, we don't have enough ingredients. Oh,
You're
crap,
going to have to pay
that.
with real-life cash, Crash.
Or go to levels and grind them out.
So what actually we have to do is, basically, whenever you're not doing action runs, you have to do collection runs to basically gather resources. And I have done a couple of these. Here is where it's basically an infinite runner to try and grab resources to upgrade your camp and, build, weapons to go up against people with. I do not know... If you die in these, do you lose any resources you were trying to come home with?
To that I can't say for sure, but I do know...
I haven't died yet.
I've died at least a few times, but when you die, you are given the choice to return at the exchange of Wumpa Fruit.
Oh boy.
I getcha. You have Skunk and Blue Hyena.
Blue Hyena was a pre-order bonus.
Oh, so that's why I had it.
And both it and the Skunk are references to Nitro Fuel, because those are skins he has in that game.
Oh, so that's what's going on there. Okay. And beyond that, what you're seeing here is that, yes, I'm going to say right now, skins, I will be honest. I have to be honest and critique and benefit and compliment the game where I can. The skins, I'm going to be honest, looks like that's going to be where the pay-to-win aspect will kick in, because different skins will give you different bonuses. For now, all we see are simple things like, oh, this gives you, this lets you start a level with an Aku Aku. The Blue Hyena pre-order bonus lets you start with a golden tier 2 Aku Aku right off the bat. And one skin that James and I both ended up getting because it was cheap enough and it's right there. What the hell not? It's a mobile lab. We'll get off our back, moms. We're grown-ass adults. We can make purchases of our own decision. Is the Biker Crash from Crash 3, which not only gives you an Aku Aku, but again, the pay-to-win aspect, it gives you like a bonus amount of resources whenever you're hunting for them. Thus, it shortens the amount of time you have to do those collection runs.
Yeah.
But I mean, so far it doesn't. So again, yes, there are in-app purchases. No, I'm not encouraging. No, this is not meant to condone people just doing that. But I will say, I like the app. It has a nice coat of paint on it, nice touch-up polish. It doesn't control or feel weird, and so I do not mind supporting them. This is a free app that you can download right now.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's
no gated content yet.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's the big difference between this and Nitro Fuel, because, I know we talked about it before, when we did the Mario iOS games, but it's like, since you technically get this game for free, they gotta have some kind of compensation for the game you're making, so, I feel like for a game like this, even if they are, objectively disgusting, they're not as bad here as they are in, say, Nitro Fuel, in terms of, why they're here.
Right. And yeah, that's me learning, oh, I don't have to jump onto the mushrooms. I can just, run right into them. Whoa.
Oh, an underground level. This is new.
So far, James, what have been your experiences with the game?
I mean, so far, not much different from yours, really. I mean, I do, from a gameplay sense, Crash Bandicoot, honestly, is one of those franchises that pretty much fits the most with this sort of auto-runner mentality because, auto runners are, they're very much the next step to, hallway platformers like Crash was, if not a bit more simplified. And
yeah, but isn't this taking a little bit of a piss out of hallway platformers? You're just...
I mean, who knows? Maybe they'll make more difficult jumping
designs.
platformers in the future. I mean, I'll tell you already
Maybe
some
a
other.
side-scrolling section or two.
Well, judging from the main menu, I can already tell you some things that looks like they have planned. But first, I'll let James finish his thoughts about anything like any other like features that you think they should work on more, or that you've wanted to try out more in the future.
Nothing else immediately strikes me at the moment, but I'll share the sentiment that I do think, as far as freemium sort of games based on an iconic franchise are concerned, this is honestly not one of the worst examples that I've seen.
Yeah, and as Hype pointed out, it's probably because they're like, okay, with the big
At the
boys
very-
now, we want to hang on to this franchise now.
I will say at the very
Or make
worst,
as much money as you can.
at the very worst, I will agree with what Logan told me off screen. They're a little ham-fisted with the tutorial stuff.
Well, it was like right there, like even in that one tutorial level I was in, like if I hang on, we gotta create this serum. No, I'm not gonna spend a purple crystal on waiting a minute. I'm just gonna wait a minute. This is what I always do. If it's like a minute, I'm like, I'm not.
Besides, I could have
I'm just gonna
a
wait.
free crystal. But yeah, no, the crystals in this game are pretty much the premium currency of this game.
My jelly jam jars only take a minute and a half to craft one by one. I'm not spending 30 crystals just to make one.
But they do get more and more. Like one of them will be 5 minutes, and that one I'll say I did spend the crystals only because, for the sake of the recording, I was like, I can't wait 5 minutes. I gotta like.
I mean,
speed up a little
honestly,
bit.
some of the stuff you have to craft can take upwards to 20 minutes.
Well, I mean, because that's the idea. Like again, it's an in-app purchase. It's or not in-app purchase.
I wanna
it's
ask,
a timer thing because it's a mobile game. It's not like you're sitting down playing. It's the idea is that you would have it in the background while you're doing other things. So I'm fine with that.
I want to ask, like, the whole aspect of waiting, what am I trying to say? Are you able to still, like, go and, like, do, like, these collection runs while you wait for it to finish crafting?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can do collection runs and get. Well, now I'm going off to fight somebody, but like, no, absolutely. We could go and get resources to make more potions while the other ones are. Hence the gameplay loop.
There
Yeah,
is.
or you don't-
There is. Hold on. There is a catch to that, though. With collection runs, the stuff that you do collecting them don't last forever, and do run under a a typical sort of Once the resources are run out, you have to wait a little while before they restock.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So you can like empty a place. Ooh, you can empty a place of all of its resources until more. Okay. I mean, again, there's a system in place, and what happened to my nose?
That
what did
same
happen to
thing
his
happened to me on my run.
And that's what made me miss. I was like, what happened? I got screwed. But no.
My nose.
Yeah, I know. All in all, though, it's still pretty decent, and I would still recommend people give it a shot. And in terms of like content that they're working on, I would be interested to see if they make like more platforming stages, or like hell, add like in the back there. I'll show it off later. They have what looks like to be things related to the minecart stages from Crash 4. I mean, Wrath of Cortex, and they have the jetboard from Crash 2. So maybe they'll add vehicle stages like from 2 and 3. And
I
stuff
imagine
into
so.
This.
Like, I know they also
Add
talked
some
about the
variety.
idea of, like, upholding the tradition of, like, the chase levels, where you're running towards the screen away from something.
I mean, honestly, with a game like this, that'd make perfect sense.
We'll upgrade our, and this is the other thing, you use resources and you upgrade your materials to be able to access more and more of the stages. And is there a story? I have no idea. I haven't.
Well,
gone
once
too
you
far
got the
into story
intro,
myself.
is the most you're gonna get.
Cortex is doing stupid things. Go kick him in the
I'll use
nuts.
crystals this time. I don't
Go
wanna wait
punch
5
him in
minutes.
the dick.
Okay, so thoughts aside, while we're about to fight Scorporilla, Icky, what do you think of what you're seeing?
Look, I'm no stranger to freemium games. I mean, for fuck's sake, I play, like, the Cookie Run series, being Oven Break and Kingdom. So I know what it is to pay for, like, free no content. That's...
I definitely remember how much of a gale time you had with Mario Kart Tour, even after I quit it.
Oh yeah, I still play that.
They're still
and I
they're
barely
still
pay
keeping
it
going.
for it because the gacha for that game is absolute garbage.
It is.
It is.
I'm just concerned what the hell King.com is going to be doing with this game in particular.
And so with that said, again, it's very much still in a quote-unquote early access kind of deal. Like, a lot of it is still being whoa.
What?
James, if that hits me, do I die? If it was
You do
going
get
back
hurt,
to-
yes. Or
I mean,
actually, no.
it is a hazard going towards you.
No. I take that back. You don't get hurt. You actually do. You can re-grab
get
it on
back up.
rebound.
Oh, okay, so you can catch it. Okay. I just saw it coming in my way and I got scared.
I do remember having at least one point where I tossed one of those. I tossed one of those. May as well. Wait, you got one locked up, but anyway.
I'm fine.
What I'm trying to say. I do remember at least one point I tossed one of those boom berries at a mook, and then it defeated the mook, but then it ricocheted right back to me, and I grabbed it right then and there.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Because that is the issue. As we're about to fight Nitro Scorporilla.
Oh, so threatening on the big old platform.
And that's the other thing is I thought it was cool to see like old enemies returning, like those Nitro Ants. I think the Nitro Ants reminded me of freaking
yeah, they're
insane.
Yeah, they're supposed to be like the Androns from Twinsanity. Yeah, just slightly redesigned.
Cool.
There's that. There's Scorporilla from the Titans games. Again, we'll be. There's also Brio, Dingo Dial, and finish him off.
And get him. That's close enough. What are the benefits of getting it like right on the money?
Just more stuff. Yeah, more stuff basically.
Okay. I thought I was like missing out on like rare unlockables or something, but
nah, it's one of those. It rewards you for fine play.
Yeah, all right. So with that said, before we leave, we have one more thing we can show off, which is that to prove that I'm not the only man who has who has acquired this game. James also recorded some footage for this to look at.
Oh, goody.
Oh.
I do believe that by this point you also get to play as Coco.
Cool.
Oh.
Yay! Look at that.
I wonder if you'll
164 IQ.
unlock other characters to play as.
Just these
Who
two.
knows? Maybe they'll add crunch and stuff later. Who knows?
That'd be fun.
That'd be possible.
Yeah.
But I mean, I am curious to see how that would go, considering the fact that like who else do you know besides Crash and Coco who? Well, I guess there is technically Dingo Dial, but he's already a boss. And then there's Tana, but she's probably too busy in another dimension to really...
Someone is doing weird construction work right outside our backyard, like on the other side of the fence, and it's like they're trying to chainsaw into a bucket. And I don't get it.
And here's
I was
where
just showing this off. This is the shop.
Yeah, this is where you spend all your premium crystals for the latest good, or spend real life money to get more crystals.
Coco, how could you?
I mean, she is a teenage bandicoot.
Here are the various islands that we can explore to get different resources depending on how many power gems you have to unlock said islands. Nitro Lab for upgrading. Let's see what else we got here. We can get Nitro Bombs, but I need more pieces to unlock that next component. We have the Nitro Ray Gun, and soon a Nitro Bazooka.
Yeah,
I'm guessing
you're going to need to worry about those later, and that's when when all the grindy shit's going to start. That's fine.
But I assume those two other capsules, like the broken ones next to the main one, you could unlock them either with money or with crystals.
Mostly, I think it's primarily through those tech parts you'll occasionally find in the runs.
So it's basically like 3 things to do.
Oh yeah!
Oh my god! Why'd you buy all these? Wait.
Oh no! I didn't buy all these. Just
he
this
didn't
one.
buy all of
right?
them. Yeah. He got the biker one. The other, that was just the game, suggesting, hey, why not try this?
Man, you could have spun and broken all of those boxes all at once.
But
I could have.
Boomberries.
But yeah, I had a boom berry on my hands. I can't boom and spin at the same time.
Okay.
I can't bury and boom.
And I see you can find trophies now. Okay, I need to swap over just a little bit just to hear what else is going on. Hype, what do you think of this project?
I will say, when I initially heard of it, I was a little bit skeptical. Like, the very initial screenshots, back when they were still ironing out the aesthetic of the game certainly didn't help. Like, I think we all know who I'm referring to with that. But aside from that, I'm honestly kind of surprised how nice this is turning out. Like, I'm going back and forth on whether or not I want to get it myself, because I'm not quite sure if... Well, first off, I've heard that apparently the people that tried to download the Android version have come across some issues with it.
I'll have to keep an eye on that. And is it also like a modern kind of thing where you're worried that it won't run on older devices, or?
I guess that hasn't really crossed my mind as of yet, and also just a matter of I feel like, as neat as this is, I made it clear before that, freemium or pure, I'm not too big into mobile gaming in general, so I'll probably just stick to me trying to finish Crash 4. But I definitely do respect and appreciate the wellness that this has so far, and hoping that it remains that way.
For what it's worth, I've had this freaking iPad for 4 or 5 plus years now, and as you can clearly see, it's able to run the game just fine.
Oh, careful. And
So wait, you can't even
and there
jump
he is.
on boxes?
Nope, you can't jump on. You can jump on the boxes. You can't break them while jumping though. Which is weird.
What kind of crap
because you're jumping
is this?
you're jumping into them, not jumping on top of them.
This isn't
and,
Crash. This is Cash.
It's not
It's,
cash.
this is the real Cash Banuka experience.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
I will admit though, this whole
Fucking
I will admit the whole way this boss is set up does kind of remind me a bit of a Sonic. What's it called? Sonic Dash.
Yeah, Sonic
Yeah,
Dash.
and
yeah.
Speed Battle.
And Forces.
Well, that's what I
Yeah,
mean.
Force Speed Battle. Right.
Honestly, I'm so surprised that whole thing hasn't just dropped the whole some Forces moniker or just become its own title again.
Because apparently
Well,
it
they
has
brought-
like way more content compared to just
And
vanilla
Forces.
It's,
Right, it is.
It's so ironic.
The mobile game has become the freemium experience to enjoy the Forces timeline. But no, between that and I will admit, this, don't tell Jordy and Pi, but this definitely feels a lot more polished to me than the bendy fun run.
I honestly don't think they'd be that offended.
Why did you throw
Well,
two
you did it.
potions when you could have used one?
Well, because he brought two resources in with him, so the bosses gain tougher.
Yeah, because sometimes one resource ain't gonna be enough.
Just fine. So that's all. I'm curious to see
Actually,
where
now
this
that I
will
look
go.
at it, I think those power gems, the design of them looks exactly like the power gems from, or the power crystals or whatever, from Tag Team Racing. I just realized that.
I mean,
Power
that is
crystal.
one thing that I will say that we kind of alluded to. One thing that a lot of people have definitely been giving this game is that, in terms of straight up fan service, this game is giving Nitro Fuel a run for its double damn money, because they're cramming a lot. They're gonna cram a lot of characters and nods into this game from what all I've seen.
I just
And,
really
yeah,
hope
it's just-
that
yeah.
I just really hope that King.com does not abuse that whatsoever.
We're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see what happens. If things get bad, we'll tell you that they're getting bad. If they're good, we'll tell you that they're getting good. But for now, there is a promising amount of content they wish to add, and I just checked it. And yeah, James, you're right. It was they do look like the power gems from Tag Team Racing. I just looked at a photo of it.
What if you could play as Papu Papu?
Oh, God.
Maybe, but
Honestly, I feel like Papu Papu would be a boss first and foremost.
so.
And then a playable character.
I mean,
yeah.
just imagine that tub of lard trying to lift himself off of one of those hover things that the other bosses use.
I feel like he would
fall
try
down
to eat
flat on
one.
his back,
I feel like he would try to eat one of the boom berries, thinking they were just regular berries.
and then and he wouldn't die. He would just be like, oh.
Yeah, it'd be like how Taz eats dynamite.
breakfast.
It'd be like how Taz eats dynamite.
Papu lay boom down big!
So yeah, and that. But yeah, so that's all for this. So now, for now, again, we may come back to this if they do add a substantial amount later. But otherwise, it was not a bad time. I did not have a sour experience with this app for now.
Yeah, same here.
Icky has shown that experiences may vary, but I do think that since it is a free app, it is at least worth the shot.
No harm, no foul. But on that note, bye-bye!
Yes, he said. What Crash Bandicoot said. Goodbye.
Why are all the crates supposed to be multiple Wumpas instead of regular crates filled with apples?
Steal your parents' credit cards!